how am I going to say this? How am I going to start this? You know? Um, if I could only say what I want to say, the way I want to say it, it'd be something. But I'll put it this way. I don't need nobody's SAS, okay? You know what I mean by that? I don't need nobody's SAD either. You know, hear what it is. So this is SAS. SAS what? Satanically assisted suicide, for one. There's also another version, they call it medically assisted suicide, right? Or death. Medically assisted death is not as MAID, right? I don't need no SAD. SAD for what? What did it say? Sudden adult death syndrome, or SADS? I mean, you heard about the infant one. Sudden infant death syndrome? I don't need that either. I didn't know SAD, I need no SAS, I didn't need no MAD, I need none of that stuff. Here's something. If you don't get it by now, you got to understand something. I got a bridge to sell you. Because you got to see what's happening, okay? Look around you. Look at the last 3 to 5 years. Even longer. Do we not see the agenda? Do we not see the pattern? Do we not see the plan, what's happening so far? Put it nicely and simply, they're trying to kill us all. Kill us all by the food. Kill us all by the air, kill us all by the water, kill us all by the medically medical interventions, because we have a disability, an ailment, because we have something else, maybe a psychological issue. Maybe we may be tired of fatigue, maybe we had a breakup or a loss, loss in the family, loss of income, loss of job, loss of wages. So because we have all these things and we have life hitting us back and forth, we are to end ourselves and edit ourselves and take ourselves out of the picture. So things doesn't go as planned. Here's newsflash. We're not perfect. And I'm not giving any medical advice, okay? I'm not a doctor. I was an RT once. I'm out of that now. Stop. Because when I saw what happened during the COVID stuff, I said, this system we believed in, this healthcare system, American Medical Association I believed in, not what I thought it was, not what I saw, not what I experienced. I thought when you go into the healthcare system, you go to provide health and care. I thought you were going to provide love and care. I don't speak on behalf of everybody. I speak on behalf of myself, okay? Because there are many loving, wonderful doctors, nurses, RTs, PT, OT, occupational therapists, physical therapists, different ancillary positions, different people in the healthcare industry that do amazing work. We used to work in L&D, labor and delivery. You worked with adult, burn, surgical, trauma, cardiac. You work at a lot of stuff. And there are other RTs older than I am. And, there's a lot of older. I mean, asthma booth, asthma care, all that stuff we did. I said, we did. I left so far. Other people are still in it. I know are still in it. Are still doing the best they can to try to hold on. But what I see happening so far is something very, very sad. And a lot of it is shown through the COVID epidemic that we had there. Some people call it an epidemic. I call it a plandemic because it seemed it was planned. It was orchestrated. There's no way possible this thing happened to hit the world the way it did and ended the way it did. But what you saw, the behavior and the patterns of the people, of what they did, how they treated each other, how they treated the medical system, how they treated the healthcare workers, how they treated everybody, was something that should be very telling and very revealing. Many people, put it this way, more people died than had to die. Or more people died than should have died. No one should have died in the first place. And for what purpose? And even after all that, knowing that these vaccines are killing people, put it nicely, they're still pushing it. Not only the adults, they're pushing it on the kids. Medically assisted death. Okay? Put it nicely. Well, how can you say such a thing? Look at it. Let's look at Canada, for instance, also. They have this policy here that they call MAID. They call it MAID. It's like medical interventions, right? They say when you find that, you might be a burden on the state medically, it might be a burden to your family, to yourself, you may not be able to do stuff as you used to, chronic illness, chronic pain, chronic this, chronic that. Won't you off yourself? You need to be not just a burden in your society. You need to take care of yourself and just kill yourself. That's what they're telling us. When you're too much of a burden yourself, so when life has taken its toll on you, or when you've taken their jabs and their vaccines and their inducements and their cocktails that they've given us over time, they said, why you bother holding on, bro? Why you bother holding on, sis? Listen, it's too much. You've been through heartaches and breaks. You can't find a doctor, can't find anyone you can do. You can't get the care you want. You can't get the pain relief that you need to. Just get out of it. That's Satan talking to us. I know God said I'm the God that live and not of the dead. So why is it people are trying to push death on us that that's life? How are you going to tell me that to go to kill myself is better off than to live? Didn't God say a living dog is better than a dead lion? So how are you going to tell me that it's like to kill myself is better? You find you're not job is not doing too good. You lost some stocks, market crash here and there. Kill yourself. You're not happy. You break up. Your teeth may be messed up. Your face look a little crooked. You may need a little some surgery. Need a little cosmetic things on your body. You may not look as well as you could. You're not looking as a beauty model you wish you could. You expected you could be one day. Kill yourself. You're not getting the boyfriend you want. You're not getting the love you want. You're not getting the girlfriend you want. Kill yourself. You're not getting anything. Whatever you don't like, whatever is not working good, best to just off yourself. And if you don't like it, off somebody else, and then it's better off. So that everyone's killing each other, and they want to know what happened. Look what happened to the last COVID thing. How many people died? Have anybody apologized? How many people got dragged off planes, attacked and fought within the stores? Told that you are the pandemic of the unvaccinated, that you were not going to get. You're not going to get any food or water. You had to go to a restaurant, serve and sit wearing masks to go into the waiting online forever. Then you get in there and then you take it off to eat, and then you eat, and then to go back to the door, you had to put it back on, or to go to the bathroom, you had to put it on. What nonsense they put people through, but yet people believed and followed it. Why are people so willing to follow these people who lead you off to a cliff or lead you to your death? Why are people so complicit to sit there and follow and say, listen, because you have a lab coat on and a stethoscope, or maybe because, I'm not picking on doctors only, but because the industry, because you're sitting in a position of high authority, you're higher than I am, therefore I need to follow you. So because you're a police official, and I'm not saying, listen, what I'm saying, I'm not saying to go against I'm not saying to go against officials in the health system, medical system, onto the doctors and all that stuff. I'm not saying to go against any of them. I'm saying think for yourself. Enough of this. These people here sit in a position thinking that they know everything, that they're God. All of a sudden, the doctor's God. The doctor's a man or woman. As ailments as he or she. Oh, man. They live in life the same as us. Okay? Pain the same, hurting the same, everything the same. But because they have a lab coat and because they've come from the echelon of the higher class, they're not like the lower scum of the earth. What, the rest of us? Huh? So when people got dragged off a plane and beaten, did any of us participate in the jeering and the insults and the taunts while they were dragged off planes? Huh? When they turned planes around because 2-3-year-olds didn't put on a mask, did anybody kind of said, hey, stop that, this shouldn't happen? Or did people say, I'm scared, I know what to do? But people who supposedly so scared were the ones cheering them on and hitting them also and pushing them also and saying, yeah, do it. Did you get any apology from the airline industry? Did you get any sorry from those people in the supermarkets and the stores that pushed you out? When people threw water on you and attacked you and dragged you out, did anybody give you any assistance? Anybody jump to your aid? And people getting tased and choked and beaten because they didn't want to sit down quiet in a stage. They didn't want to distance from the 6 feet apart that we now know is garbage. It was garbage back then, it's still garbage now. Remember, 6 feet away this way, 6 feet this way, 6 feet this way. It ends up to 666, right? And then after that, when they finish done with you, they call you 6 feet under. You're 6 feet down again. That's the devil talking to you, man. Had us going into hospitals where you have to sit there and have to go be spaced apart, where you have in the elevators like little dots on the floor, 1 feet apart. I said, hey, it's not 6 feet apart. I used to go and purposely stay between both of the dots. That's what happens. People are freaking out. Oh, man. How fast we forget, man. How fast we forget. And yet we're sitting there going, it's like, it's okay. It's okay. Wearing masks, looking like Optimus Prime. Talking to people that can't see your face. Parents coming to see their kids, they can't talk to the kids because they have to wear a mask on. What's the mask doing for you? What's the mask doing to help you? I think it's killing you. Here's something. When you wear a mask, you rebreathe in your exhalations. You ever smell your breath? Let's look at this. You ever see your teeth? You ever smell what's coming out of your mouth? You ever smell what goes on in there every respiration? When you exhale, that stuff gets trapped into the mask. What goes into the mask then becomes the stage. A nice, warm, moist environment, bacteria starts to grow. When you start to rebreathe the exhalations, that's the CO2. When you start to breathe CO2 too much, you get carbonic acid in your body. You inhale it, you become more acidotic. When you become more acidotic, bacteria love acidotic environments. They love when you're acidotic. Yeah, when you're acidotic, your blood changes pH. Then they love to grow in you. That's when you get more susceptible to infections. Yeah, so they want you to become more sick with wearing the mask. That's what it is. So when they give you the mask, and remember, it's not one mask. It said something to tell you wear two, Emperor Fauci and Grandmaster Bill Gates. Wear two masks. Why? When you wear the mask, what it does. So one mask is messed up. Two is what? Worse. And if that's not good, to put on an N95 or something. They're supposed to be called OSHA, right? Occupational Safety Health. They're supposed to be the one to monitor the system, the regulation system. When you try to wear it, you're supposed to wait for short increments of time. Make sure that you're doing surgery and stuff. The surgical mask. You don't spit in the patient's wounds. You don't spit in the cuts. You don't get stuff in there. And if we're going to go to procedures where things are splatting here and there, you may get mucus and stuff in your face. You put on a shield, a face shield. But you weren't supposed to live and wear it all the time. I still see people wearing it now up to this day. But I'm asking, why not everybody's? Why not everybody still wearing it? And why some wore it? Why they took it off? Why they stopped wearing it? But here's the thing, they want to move on so fast. So they try to kill us, and they're still trying to kill us now, because they didn't just give it to the people, the vaccines to them back then. They want to give it to the children now still. And younger, that are not even sick, that didn't even get sick. But yet they told you that if you're not a doctor, you can't decide it. The same thing it's the same thing with the same thing with abortions. They think that just because this life is there, and I was saying this before. Oh goodness, I got supposed to tell you guys. I can't even put it in one thing, but let me get my thoughts here. Think about it. If you had a room, right, where you can have a partition there, one side is a doctor performing an abortion, and the other side is a person, a male or female, a father or mother, or some relative, taking a child or taking a little infant or a baby and chopping it up into pieces on one side. And the doctor's on the side aborting the baby by chopping it up into pieces and grinding it up or sealing it or solidifying or liquefying it or destroying it in pieces on one side. And the other side is a person chopping them. Why is it when the cops come or get called or someone say, hey, something's going on inside, they go check a look, there's blood everywhere. They would actually charge the person with homicide, murder on the one side who took a child and chopped it up or harmed somebody or even hit a pregnant mom with a baby inside and baby lost a baby. They would charge the person with a crime, involuntary manslaughter or something, right? But yet on the other side, the doctors and the nurses and the other people that are performing the abortions are chopping, grinding, killing, even up to late term, even post-term, after they're born. They're killing the baby. They don't charge them with murder and homicide. Why is that? Just because they have a lab coat? Huh? Just because they're supposed to lead a higher one? Well, they're the gods of the world, right? I told you the AMA, the symbol that it stands for, the American Medical Association, that symbol is not of God. That symbol of that staff, that caduceus, that symbol of the staff with a serpent entwined. He said 2 serpents before, 2 snakes. Right enough to have one. That's a serpent, that's symbol for Satan. Okay? That symbol of the intertwined, oh man. That symbol of the snake wrapped around the staff, that's satanic. It's to the god of Hermes and Socrates, the god of Hermes, of alchemy, potions, witchcraft, thinking that they can make base metal, thinking that the thing change the body, human body into a god-like creature. Huh? It's like something's evolution. It can make you better. It's a lie. They tell you that if you could just do it their way, if you just follow the doctor and do it the way, you can live forever. It's a lie. You should not get sick. You should not have to do this other stuff. It's a lie. Have you seen the lie? Have you understood yet, people? Yet we forget so fast. Moving to the next, to the next, to the next. Sometimes I say, does anybody listen anymore? Does anybody care? Does anybody take notice? We went through stuff in the COVID time whereby people's lives and livelihoods were endangered. People were let go, fired, removed, blocked from family gatherings, blocked from associations, blocked from everything they can have with people. You couldn't hug, you couldn't talk, you couldn't embrace. Had to go hug with your elbows, touching knobs with your elbows, touching things with your feet, all kind of rubbish and nonsense. Eating food in the street, like in New York, the people were eating food in restaurants, well not in restaurants, little huts, parked in the street, eating food while wearing a mask and a plastic around and stuff. And then there are videos of people playing musical instruments with plastic over them. People taking baths and pool with plastic bags over their head. People wearing masks in the pool. Oh my, out on the planes. And the airlines industry, they deserve to give us an apology. The airlines industry, they let you wear the mask. They need to stop the plane if you don't wear a mask. They tell you only when I think it was after, what is it? It was after when people got enough after the Black Lives Matter riot. That's when they said, okay, everybody stop doing this stuff, break the thing down, so they stopped doing this mask and all this other policy. They didn't apologize. They just stopped it because the next new power in charge was like, okay, the gig is up. Look what they did in China and other places, where they had people welded into their apartments. They had their pets rounded up and bound in bags and stuff and killed. What did China do to the pets? All the pet lovers are there, and pet lovers and animal rights. Where's PETA? All the pets and animals killed. Now they're talking about culling the chicken because of chicken pox and chicken flu, bird flu. How many chickens they killed? How many chickens they killed? And the wonder why the price of eggs went up and stuff? They're systematically making things happen whereby they're messing with the water and the food sources and the food supplies. I'm telling you that if it's something messed up and it goes wrong, it's your fault. No matter what you do, it's your fault. That's what I see in the medical system also. No matter what, everything goes on. They're giving you medicine, pharmaceuticals that can, some of them can help. Not saying everything is bad. There are a lot of good things. This is what they call it satanic assisted suicide. There are many things that can help the body that they give you, medicines, antibiotics, something they give you for heart attack, stroke, blood pressure, all that stuff. They give it to you. But there are also other things that slip in there that treat something but also trigger something else. So when they give you a medicine for one, it helps the system, the body to get better, supposedly. But it's not to be taken long term. But they design many things some way that your body becomes dependent upon it and you become tolerant of it. So that now when they give you more, it doesn't have the same effects. You know, you got to get more and more and more. then you get stronger, supposed to be better. But then it actually makes you sick and more dependent. When they give people like remdesivir and stuff that destroyed their kidneys and messed them up, when they try to purposely block the hydroxy and purposely block their ivermectin, which we heard and knew and from the studies that said it can save people's lives, they were telling you they were trying to kill you. So Emperor Cuomo of New York and Governor Hochschild of New York and the rest of them, Governor Whitman, Michigan, and all the other people over there blocking you and couldn't give you a chance to be free and to give anything for yourself, trying to let you die everywhere they can. And then here's something, I don't have a political party per se, but it was mostly, the policies that the most strictest was mostly in those Democrat blue run states. Now I believe it's one big uni party, okay? I'm not Republican or Democrat, but I'm saying that most of the worst stringent policies, like in California, the Governor Newsom, all them, they had the roughest, strictest policies that were they're killing more people. But they ain't telling you that. They say if it's wrong, it's your fault. And all the one pushing the healthcare stuff back then were pushing it. And the people who had no choice to comply. Arresting people parasailing and going on the boats and going to the park. Arresting fathers and kids in the park. Arresting gym owners. What about them in New Jersey? Huh? When people are trying to go to the gym, they close the gym. They have to fight back against the gym owner, fight back against the police to say to keep your gym open. When you are sick, it's best to go exercise and get fresh air and sunlight and work. Get vitamin D, get vitamin C, but they told you stay inside so you don't get no vitamin D because you can't get no sunlight. And it's in the wintertime. You notice most of the things come in the wintertime? All these seem sick, silly flu shots and stuff. What's in those flu shots? All the aluminum and the adjuvants. Stuff is killing us slowly. Medically assisted death. Medically assisted suicide. Yeah, these words are only of my own. I'm telling you the truth here. Stop believing that these people are here to help you because they're in positions of authority. And we're still mad at Trump for what he did when he said, go get it warp speed. And I think he stopped saying it now that vaccines are helping him. Because he knows that people are saying, yeah, I ain't taking it. When he's saying, hey, I told you, Trump is not my messiah. He's just a man like anybody else. He said he took the immunoglobulin, when he said he hopefully got sick and all this stuff. Biden took about 3 or 4 shots and he got sick. Oh, I'm better, I get sick. All of them. But one makes a policy that the other one falls after. So I say the presidents are not elected, but they're selected. Because the vaccine, those kind of immunity the vaccine makers and those pharmaceutical makers had, was came under Reagan, right? And after Reagan, you had other policies made by Bush and Obama and Trump followed that and Biden followed. So remember people saying, I ain't taking that vaccine from Trump. I ain't taking the vaccine from Trump. And then as soon as Biden got in, him and Kamala, the first was saying they ain't taking it, but then they took it after, right? And people, as God said, by beholding we become changed. People then decide to go from no to yay, just because someone in authority decided to follow it. What has been the aftermath? Why you ain't doing it now? Why you ain't taking the thing? So many people took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 shots to their own demise, killing themselves. Suicide themselves, literally. One parent I see that gave a couple shots to the kid, said the kid to put the kid up for the vaccine trial to make that hopefully help to better off the rest of the other people to take it. So let the kids be sacrificed on the altar of doing good. And then they wonder why now the kids are sick and messed up that the companies that said, I'll help you, ain't helping you. They said they signed something like, help you, they'll provide you with care. And they're gone. They give you a 649. They give you a bridge or somewhere. Bridge to death. Oh, man. We have to wake up. Wake up, America. Wake up, the people of the world. I love you guys too much. I love you guys. That's why it's burning me. That's why I said I'm not going back to work in the healthcare. I'm not going back. Because when this should be giving life and saving life, the powers that be, the people at the top, who knows what the system stands for, what the Kedusha stand for, what the AMA symbol stand for. Even, you read the stuff about the AMA. I should put it there. He said the Kedushas, trying to help people to be and Socrates and Hippocrates, Hippocratic oath, Socrates, do no harm. They did a lot of harm. They haven't been held accountable. People were giving them gifts and food and all kind of donations were coming in there, salutes from the fire truck and all this music was coming to them. They were giving all these great things. And then when everything was over, those who refused to follow the mandates and decided to take the vaccine, they were fired and doxxed and all kind of stuff. They were let go. Even if they were about to retire or go. When they let you go and they tell you to dismiss you from a job, what are they telling you? They tell you they're giving you life? Hey, sorry we can't take you, you're not following the mandate. Don't let you go. Because you may need to go and try to go somewhere else. But if we don't provide you with a job and food and sustenance, food, clothes, and shelter, then you may need to just go and die. So they're telling us, go and die. That's my opinion. You may need to go and die. That's what they told us. So when they tell you to block you from going into some place to get food and stuff, they want you to starve and die. When they tell you can't go to sports, I'm like, well, I don't see those people in the sports stand up for people as much. A few of them stood up. The tennis player, he was blocked from going to play in some opens. And he's okay after that. Many people saw them on the thing walking and falling down, dying in the field, heart attacks in the field, myocarditis, and they said, oh, it's SAD, it's sudden adult death syndrome. Why their heart swollen with inflammation? I don't know. Is there a correlation? For somehow, they took something, they got a reaction, and then they died after. It came in a wave, and they just came to go fine, and they died. How many athletes? But then, yet, they told us, the Governor Hartzell them was saying, they were blocking, people couldn't go anywhere with unless they had a vaccine called a passport. But then, when they had sports arena, sports events, the teams coming in were exempt from having to have a vaccine passport and stuff. So the COVID vaccine stops for you when you're going to eat food. Stop for you when you're speaking in government. Remember they used to go on the podium? Everybody, they get together on the podium, and they even caught them in secret videos and even in the White House briefings. When they go to speak, remember, Fortune, the scarf lady, Dr. Burks, when they go to speak, they pause everything. They take up their mask, where they had it from in their sleeves or elbows, wherever they had to put on the mask. When they go to speak on the podium, they take it off. So COVID stopped for you when you're having a speech. But it didn't stop for you when you were not speaking. So all those behind those were masked up looking like Optimus Prime, muzzled, I'll call it muzzled dogs. Really, when you put a muzzle, what do you put a muzzle on a dog for, on an animal? You see it on the horses and stuff. When you put a muzzle on an animal, what are you doing that for? When the dogs have muzzle, what do muzzles do? You can't bark and you can't bite. So when you put a muzzle on you and you can't bark and bite, what are they doing? Where's a dog's power and where's the strength? It's in their bite. It's in their bark. When a dog barks, it's to warn, to take to danger, to warn, or to give a message. If you can't bark and bite, what happens? When they put this muzzle on you, remember God said you can't put a muzzle on the ox, you can't chew the corn? The phrase, the paraphrase like that. When they put a muzzle on you and you can't bark, God says, the watchman on the wall, blow the trumpet, give it a certain sound. What is it telling you? You have to be able to warn people and tell them. But they pull the videos off, they pull the social media videos off, they block them, they dock them, they shadow ban them. This might even get blocked and taken off, who knows? They might even strike their account. I don't know why they strike it, I'm just speaking my opinion. But I thought freedom of speech was given by God. But again, we're working on their platform, so they can choose to let go or not let go. But I'm saying, think for ourselves, we have to. Why are we following people to our own death and demise in a satanically assisted suicide way, thinking that it's the best thing for us? Because they have a lab coat on and stuff. Do you notice most people in the cosmetic industry wear lab coats too? They just want to give you fillers and Botox. You see those ads on the thing, as you drive to some places. Does size really matter? Using a sexual innuendo to kind of provide something with a person lab coat saying, yeah, get fillers for your lips and feet and tummy tuck and thing, using implants, even penile implants for your lips and all kind of stuff for your body, and just make yourself go deteriorate and wear faster. Oh man, if I can say everything I want to say, it'd be something else. But they want to tell us that in order to live, we have to die. I mean, if we die, we can't die fast enough. So go back to the thing in China. They welded them into their homes, in their apartments. And you remember the videos of people screaming and crying all night, hearing their voices wailing, crying while locked up in an apartment building, left to die. They left them there to die. All those beautiful flowers of the people were left to die. They left them there. They rounded up the animals and the animals died. They killed them. They took away everything from them. They had drones and all coming to stop them on the roadway and tell them, get back into your home, go back here and there. They have people kind of catching you. What about the people you saw before walking and all of a sudden twitching and falling, full of blood like in COVID? Have you seen anybody? I didn't remember seeing not one person, and I work with some of them. I extubated some of the people. Extubated means take the breathing tube out their mouth, who had supposedly had COVID. Even one person who extubated, there was a young kid who got in a car accident. He's in a surgical unit. Extubated him. He was fine. We had all these gowns on multiple gowns. We didn't know what thing was really bad. It wasn't really bad. But I kept saying, I'm suctioning them, I'm cleaning them. The secretions look the same. They have fever, they have this. They have on such a different vent settings. They have high oxygen, high everything. And some of those settings, they were not healthy. They were not good. But what we said, we just following what the doctors were telling us to do, right? But after a while, I'm like, hey, this is not looking right. Why don't you give them some vitamin D? Do you hear what they're promoting? Ask some of the doctors, hey, you guys studied the best of medicines. Don't you give them the best of care? Why didn't you give them the best of care? But I heard that you make more money for the people who were sick and diagnosed with COVID and died in an event than if they were sick and just died of nothing, of hypoxia and just, low oxygen levels and died in their homes. So many people were sent home with low oxygen level readings because there was something there. I'm not saying the virus is non-existent. There was something that is called a gain of function. You can call it what you want. Ron Paul and everything, they all do is have hearings and hearings and hearings, but nobody gets charged. So the thing comes and goes, everyone just move on. Life as usual, go back to life as usual. I said, no, don't move on. Get an accountability. Tired of their lies and nonsense. All they do is kill us. And people keep saying, it's okay. It's okay. It's for the better good. Greater good for who? Herd mentality. What a herd? What am I, a cow? What, a donkey? It's good for the greater good. Who greater good? It's for the collective. Well, here's something. Collective starts with 1, right? So 1 plus 1 make 2 and so on, right? So in the meantime, you tell me that to kill myself is better for the rest of the group. But if you tell all of us to kill ourselves is better for the rest of the group, who's left? Seriously? I got a bridge to sell somebody. Come on, man. They harm so many people. Look what happened in Australia. They choked people. They beat people. They tase people. They attack people. What happened in America? Dragged them off a bus. Police arrested them, tasing them, beating them. What happened in the UK? Couldn't go to see medical. In the UK, and almost every medical system had it in lockstep. They all work together, and they all tell them that they can't go here, can't get this kind of care, can't get this kind of care. Unless you get the vaccine or get the jab, you can't get anything. What do you call that? When someone tells you you cannot eat unless you do it their way. Is that kind of call it coercion? I thought we had informed consent and do no harm. But how I tell you I don't want to do this. I want to choose to be informed on what you give me, and I want to choose to refuse if I want to refuse. They tell us to go to the patient. If the patient refuses, but patient refuses. I respect their rights. And it tells us about HIPAA, Health Information Portability Act. That means you cannot tell anybody's personal information or else you might get sued and stuff. But yet, you must wear your vaccine passport pretty much in your phone. You have to show people how to show the phone if it's green or red. You must tell it, and so if you go to the security counter and you was flagged, you can go in there. You were flagged, so then aren't you telling them your security information? Weren't you exposing them? But yet the people, the politicians who did this stuff, many of them were caught later on partying, having orgy fests and having parties and things, going out in boats and going and doing stuff. There's something to tell you not to do. They were hypocritically doing. What about Gavin Newsom? Didn't he have his family go there and have go to the schools and having private homeschooling and all these different things? Didn't he go to dinner a couple times and have his own thing? What about these governors? What about these people? What about Governor Whitmer and stuff? Didn't her husband go out there in the boat and have his own business going on there too? What about all these people, all these Nancy Pelosi them telling you stay inside and eat the crumbs and they give you that little chump chin they give you when they give you the government, give the $600 thing, but they give them billions across the seas. What did she do? Was she going to get her hair done and all nice and done it up when everyone wants to sit there suffering in the home, can't breathe, can't eat? So we followed it. They did it. People are afraid to go to gas stations and gas pumps. I never use no gloves or no gas pump. I'm putting gas in. I think God designed our hands to be kind of special, right? Bacteria kill other bacteria. But to me, something was turned on and something was turned off. Was it something that had a primer? Was it something that came after the flu shot? Was it a gain of function? Was it something that when one meets with another one, it turns on? They told us it was a 5G, was this, was that. For some reason, for the level and the extent and the intensity of when this thing came on, something was happening. Something was turned on, something was turned off. Why is it not happening the way it is? Why didn't everybody die? Because we all didn't take the shots. We all didn't take the stuff. But how is it? Here we are, alive today. But yet they told us, if you don't take it, you'll die. This thing will kill you. Was it a test run? I hope it was just fake. I hope it was just salinity to give people. But people are dying from the shots they're giving them now. It's mRNA vaccine stuff. So what are they giving people? Why are we still taking it? Why are people still taking it? They said, it's my job. I have to do my job. So your job is worth more than your health. So God says, many people have pierced themselves too with many arrows, killing themselves, thinking that they're doing God's service. So when God asks, how much did it profit a man, man, to gain the whole world and lose their own soul? So for the sake of convenience, many people took the vaccine to go fly in planes and fly in this and go here and there to go visit family and relatives. And they knew we want to be close and we're social creatures. They knew we have sympathetic. But because of our sympathies and love for each other, people are hugging each other through masks and plastic bags and plastic stuff. They couldn't hug grandma to a sheet. They had to go them. They couldn't visit anyone in nursing homes and loved ones. And all those people who seem to have perpetrated this fraud on humanity slink away like snakes under the rocks. Where's Cuomo? Where are all these people? Now they're changing the tune supposedly. What about the Jimmy Kimmel? Jimmy Kimmel and these people who were over there before, who had his history before. Remember Jimmy Kimmel had his videos before, people sitting there having videos of all messing with these women and these girls, and then he's like always trying to get sexual videos and stuff, and then reaching into his pants and taking stuff. He's a sick man, very sick man. But when he's crying about his son having a heart issue, people sympathize him. Jimmy, we saw you feeling for it. But yet when he was told that people were saying they were dying and getting sick of the COVID thing, he said, what is it? Die wheezy, let him die. That was Stephen Colbert having the vaccine dance. Ding, 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 ding. Dancing with the vaccines and the jabs. It looked so fun. So they first they started off with, as I said, the Johns Hopkins studies. They started off telling people that it's okay. Take it. It's only voluntary. Take it if you like it and want. First to refuse it because it's under Trump, right? Ooh. Then they said under Kamala and Biden, okay. So they used celebrity endorsements and people in music and idols. They used it in Sesame Street and stuff. The public broadcast networks, because I'm happy shutting it down now. They use all those things to kind of get people to kind of comply. They gave it to them. And they said, take it. It's good for you. And they went and they did it. And then it's like, oh, yes, fine. They're fine. And they said, look, you see, you're better off now. How many of them are paid off? How many of them took it themselves? Had people having fake injections. Fauci said he got it on this arm. And yet when he said, how you feel? I'm sore on that arm. Man, he's Fauci, Emperor Fauci, who was told before said that if you don't take the shot, you'll literally walk. Cuomo said you're literally like you're wicked, trying to kill people by not taking the vaccine. And Fauci said you must take it. Or it's wrong to do it. But yet he's caught in a stadium, baseball stadium, sitting in the bleachers, baseball or basketball, whichever one. He's in a sports stadium, sitting there without his mask on, talking and living it up with people. They ain't wearing it. Other people are caught on the G7, G8 when they had the world gathering together, all the world leaders. They were all before talking without their mask, having fun, laughing, giggling, chilling with each other, yeah. When they said, cameras on, cameras on, we're going to have the cameras on. They all run together, pull the mask out their sleeve, pull out their shirt, pull out their sleeve, put on the mask, and they all sit together. We're okay. We're fine. We work together. It was a stage and a setup. So somehow these world leaders knew, but they didn't. They acted very hypocritical and opposite. What about Tony Blair and them? A liar. What about the rest of them? And many of them we looked up to. And how many world leaders died of COVID? People trying to warn people about the COVID stuff before. Some of them, I think I'm in Africa, they're trying to warn people not to take the stuff. And somehow they seem to disappear. They get into an accident somewhere, or somehow disappeared, and then next thing came back, they had to see they have a heart attack. Very interesting. People disappearing and dying. It's a horrible time, but yet we haven't had any apologies, no sorries, nothing. But I'm saying that the same thing goes. That was a lie and a trick of the devil. There's no reason why this thing should have been permitted to be the way they were. And I'm surprised. I thought the people of the Caribbean would have stood up more and said, hey, we ain't taking out that nonsense. We're taking out that rubbish. I thought people, patriotic people, these big hardcore guys and people walking like, with brass knuckles and hardcore, say, I ain't taking that garbage. Some of them walking with their mask on too. Walking one day guy said to me, walking in on York Avenue, New York City. Put your mask on. I'm like, put it on for me. Seriously. Why you ain't wearing your mask? So before they wear a mask when you wore a mask before in public and everyone was there, thought you had TB or some kind of respiratory illness, you're afraid to anybody. And in some places, as a courtesy, they wore a mask. If they had a cold or something, they don't want to make anybody infected, like some Asian countries. So they wore a mask, as a general. But when this whole COVID thing started, somehow they started with they had to get the surgical mask. You couldn't get it fast enough. And you couldn't find a mask. You had to find some cloth, some clothes, some kind of bandana, some kind of thing. As long as you had something over your face to show that you were symbolically in line with them, the collective, you were good. So the individuality went out the door and collective was better. But they said, think for yourself. Who are the essential workers? I thought we were all essential. Aren't we all from one race, the human race? God made us all, right? In his image, right? But yet some are told that they were a higher echelon and some were not. And when they gave the vaccines to many countries who had before the regular ivermectin and they had the other stuff, anti-malarial or hydroxychloroquine, they were doing good. And when they get the vaccines, to them, who were previously taking the right medicine, the people who took the vaccines then ended up dying. And when they got rid of the vaccines, the people started living again because they started taking the old medicine, the natural medicine. People took a lot of vitamin C, zinc, budesonide, pulmicort, which is like some medicine's still good in the hospital. Hydroxy, when they took it according to, I don't want to call it higher learning, when they took it they did it according to God's way. Proper hygiene, clean, sanitation. They seem to live better. But many people died. But then I'm also disappointed because a lot of the churches and stuff, a lot of the clinic and facilities who are supposed to teach people about the health message and about the health arm of the gospel, who are supposed to teach them how to live and be better and to do natural way. They went and capitulated and become compliant and told them people to take it too. They were even forcing the people, telling them, you better take it or else you can't come to the church. Gotta go 10 at a time, 5 at a time, 8 at a time. They don't know the size of the church, but somehow your building, your house was known by some secret kind of monitoring system that they know if you're 5, 6 at a time in a building that the COVID wouldn't come there. 8 at a time wouldn't come there. 10 at a time wouldn't come there. Such rubbish and nonsense, utter nonsense. But people followed it. Why they followed it? Because someone in authority spoke to them. But when God, the highest authority, says, hey, be free, think for yourself, try this place and see if it's true or not. Who, what? I hear thunder. I don't know what he's saying. Who's this holy man? God, if we were to follow God's word and do God's duty to our fellow brothers and sisters the way we're supposed to, we'd have none of these issues. If people could be free to think for themselves and to live life for themselves and to be able to stand for themselves and to be able to help fellow brothers and sisters, not try to steal and graft and oh man, and siphon off of them. Trying to siphon the very life off of them. They'll be able to live better. But we are treated so horribly in this earth. And if you remember back then when the World War I and II, how many people died under Mao Zedong and some of these other leaders when they tried to starve the people of China? Millions died because they want to convert themselves from a agrarian farm system to a supposedly one of industrial system. But remember what God said, you need the basics before you build, cut the cost. And everything comes at a risk. But I believe that the farmers and those producing food, those who had food, clothing and shelter, and those who could produce their own food were better off. So now we're here, fast forward, now we understand where all these tariffs are going wild back and forth. Tariffs are going between Trump and other countries and stuff, America and everywhere else. And now the people who are very big in exporting are now feeling the pinch. And those, when the pinch comes to them, they have to pass it on to the workers. So now the factories can't produce. The factories can't produce, have to lay people off. Lay people off, it then affects their family and livelihoods. Now the people are more unemployed. When they're unemployed, they can't ship anything. When they can't work, they can't pay for themselves. They have to be homeless and poverty. They lose their homes, lose their livelihood. No shipping containers come across to America and other places. Prices go up. Truckers can't work. People can't work as much as they want to. It's like a strike. And when they can't work, no goods come to the store. No goods come to the store means depleted funds, depleted stuff. You can't buy what you don't have. And when you do have it, supply and demand, it costs more and much more. With the eggs and the chicken, right? Remember that? So they have us suiciding ourselves, telling us it's the best thing for us because it's for the greater good for the collective at the expense of the individual. So the people, and then they said, "I'll make China pay for it." Is this what they're doing now? Who knows? But I'm saying we should not have done what we did. We should not have complied as we did. We should have thought for ourselves and stood up for ourselves. I thought the people of the Caribbean would have been, hey, no, not here. But I heard they were even giving them citations for driving in the car without a mask, even by themselves solo. But yet all of a sudden, 2-3 years pass and 4 or 5 years pass, and all of a sudden it's like nothing happened. As fast as it came, as fast as it disappeared, and everyone just goes back to life as usual. What's for TV? What's the new phone coming out? iPhone 25? Huh? iPhone 16? What's the next one coming out? They're quick to go find a new game. What's a new game? They played games. Some countries were giving people porn to watch. In I think it was Italy. A few months subscription of porn to watch when COVID thing was going on. Yeah, stay home and watch porn. So that did good for the family. How many domestic violence issues broke out? How many people got messed up with their family and spouses? How many people got more hateful? Some people actually learned some good things. They learned to find more time together with their family and their kids and stuff and that. So it's not all bad. I won't say it's all bad. From that, we learned to do other things. Remote learning, remote things that happen. Now we kind of continue with that. So it's not all bad. And what we learned from it, meaning that you can work. Humans are so versatile and so special. Even in a bad situation, they can learn to make a good thing happen out of it. That's all I love about humanity. We're essential. We are all essential. We need to do it. We can do things. If God gives us the ability and the means and the resources, we can do it. But they told people, you can't do without us. You can't live without a vaccine. I wonder how the people of Abraham, Isaac, and those people lived before. I wonder if Adam took his vaccine. What did he get? MMR, the DTaP? How did the people live before that time? I asked one pastor, I said, hey, why are you pushing this vaccine? Why you took this stuff for? Brother, viruses didn't exist till Jesus came. You mean viruses and bacteria didn't exist until Jesus came? He shouldn't be in the pastor. You shouldn't be speaking to anybody. You shouldn't be telling anybody anything. He'd be going to learn from school again. So all these things we have. So people lived back then longer than we did, stronger than we did, bigger than we are, took nothing that we took, and they were living fine. But you have to come across the country to get some immigration status and papers and stuff. You have to get the vaccines, all this whole panel of stuff. It's like, for convenience, we suicide ourselves. They told us to get a green card and get a paper. They had to get these things to fly for the country. Even one country told them, I think it was St. Vincent, where if you want to evacuate from a erupting volcano, you must get your vaccine to get in the vessel. What do I call that? And I call it bullying and we call it racketeering and bullying. If you don't push this stuff, you get it. But people do this a lot. They said, the Nazis are so bad and Hitler is so bad and wicked so bad. I'm like, whatever happened to any bad thing happened by the hand of another human being to another human being, even by the devil doing to any one of us is bad. Any wrong done, any kind of sinful act done against a fellow brother, sister, fellow servant of God is a wrong thing. It's bad. But yet, the action they do now to kill more people under the guise of supposedly being medical interventions to help you, to me, just as bad. So they have Nuremberg trials. Well, we will not do this thing again. They did it again. We will have the war to end our wars. They had another war. Everything they said to do. We have a war against crime, more crime. War against drugs, more drugs. War against guns, more guns. All the violence. But I say, having guns for self-protection. Second Amendment. I agree with that. So I got nothing against God. But more violence happened because of wicked people doing bad things. And since that time happened, and I was talking about something before, I alluded to it. God shows like Bird, was it Bird Box, Sandra Bullock and stuff. They had also, you know, the Matrix. They had stuff, you know, besides Terminator and the other ones there. You know, they had also ones like Squid Games and all this stuff, and Hunger Games, all this other stuff, teaching us how to become desensitized and to hate ourselves and to hate each other and to become more evolved and enhanced. So ask anybody, they can tell you what the Netflix shows are. What was the show you saw on this and this? You can see all these other things. But they made us learn to reward evil and to condemn the good. They had shows about how Lucifer, that to love Lucifer and love satanic stuff and love hatred and love wickedness. To love and enjoy wickedness. Even to remember I Love Lucy? Taught us how to learn to laugh at lying and sinning and to make it a fun thing. So we can laugh at stuff and listen to some other perverted shows and stuff we see. And the amount of wicked and violence and cursing and vitriol you hear from some of these talk show hosts and late night talk show hosts that try to act like good, but they have no love of God in their heart. But they're busy talking about God. Lies. And then the religious ones supposed to be doing the right thing for God. Oh, just as bad. Pedophiles and stuff telling about how you should come not near me, I'm better than that, but they can take all the money and give, hug, but they ain't give no God, they ain't give you nothing. Yet there were some, I heard, that actually gave the people, paid off the people's bills, paid off their balances when they couldn't pay for themselves. They helped them. I think a church in California, in Florida somewhere, when the people couldn't pay anymore, they helped them. But it's like this weed here in the ground here. If you don't take care of the weed when it's small, it spreads and propagates, and then I got to deal with it. And I'm going to deal with him later on when I get my stuff and I finally see him. When I finally see him, I see what you are. I see the grass here, which is parched, but I see this guy here. He don't belong here. When I see it, I'm going to deal with it. So now, I hope people, by the grace of God, you're seeing what I'm talking about. Not just me. Vera Sharab made a video. Never Again is now. And what happened to Israel? Israel went through a horrible past already with the Holocaust and stuff. And being shipped across from the bad that happened to them in Germany and stuff, and Poland and stuff. And then they brought them to Israel. How were the Israelis treating the Israelis? They had men and women beating and attacking other rabbis and people in the synagogues and stuff, forced them to compliance. And you know something? I noticed something. When remember they had some kind of supposed measles outbreak in Rockland County before the COVID thing broke out? I think that was being used as a test case. So on the Cuomo, they cut, and we call de Blasio, some people call him Big Bird, de Blasio. They shut down the yeshivas and other schools, and people were actually snitching and calling about them. And they told you get rewarded for snitching and calling about your neighbors. If you could tell what happened your neighbors are doing, who's not wearing a mask, who's doing outside, who's associating, who's gathering, you get rewarded for that. So they rewarded snitches for telling what's going on. And then they get rewards. That sounds very interesting. They'll get the reward. God will deal with them. They shut them down. And remember, the Jewish people are a very protected class. Because now everything is anti-Semitic. If you do something against the Jewish people, it's anti-Semitic. So when they were attacking them back in New York and in the yeshivas and Rockland County, telling them, wear your African mask and tell all kind of stuff. Why was nobody saying it was anti-Semitic back then? Here's something. You hear that phrase? When I saw them doing it to this person, I said nothing. They did it to another person, I said nothing. When they finally came and did it to me, it's too late. Paraphrase. When we sit back and watch it happen to other people and say, that's not my issue, that's my affair, I'm not getting involved. Are we being a good Samaritan? Are we a brothers and sisters keepers at that point? When we see things happen to other people and sit back and do nothing, are we complicit? So if we know the truth and refuse to say it and speak about it, and to warn other people, watchmen on the wall, watchmen on the wall, watchmen on the wall, blow the trumpet. If we say we don't say nothing, but we say, go be well fed and eat, be well fed, and by giving out the nutrients they need, as God said you should do, we should give them. God said we should give them the good things they need. But if we choose not to give it to them, are we any better off? Then God said, you must love me more than what the people say. I love my brother, sister, but they love me only so far. So if your son asks you for food like fish, you give him a rock. And if they ask for bread, you give him a stone. They give us rocks and stones for real. They give us death. They're still giving us death. Now the hospitals are giving out death. And so are also some of those big businesses and companies giving out death. They don't like your business, they don't like your politics, to get rid of you. They don't like you, get rid of you. Trying to speak up for the truth, get rid of you. Dox you, demonetize, pull your platform. Thank God now at least Elon Musk and Facebook and, Twitter, not Facebook, let's say Twitter, this is called X. I don't know why you call it X now, but they say they want to give you back freedom of speech to be able to speak and do what you want to do now. Let's see how that goes. They want to give you so much stuff now. Now you can do what you want. Now all these guys are in too. Now Bill Maher said, I'm willing to talk with Trump and sit with Trump and have some stuff there. They're all making peace. They all seem to be working together now. It's a little better now. The rhetoric has turned down a bit. The tone has turned down. Now they dropped the mask. The mandates have dropped in many places here and there. Ask yourself why. Because a new dog is in town, new sheriff in town. I like Joe Ladapo and I like DeSantis in Florida. They say they enforce people to get this stuff. And if they try to force you to get it, then you can actually sue them I think everyone should be sued. Anyone trying to force anyone to do something against their own will and to go against their own personal decision to protect their own bodily autonomy, they should be sued. They should be arrested. You should not be charged for those things. But this is what happens. If crime doesn't have a penalty and doesn't have any weight in the law that goes behind to punish the crime or the criminal, they keep doing it over and over again. So America has been given Tuskegee as an example. You also had the Oklahoma City massacre, not a riot. You also had things gone against other people, not only against blacks, against whites too, against other groups. We've had more violence done against people interracially than interracially, and vice versa too. So I'm saying it's a sin thing. It's the same message. If we don't put sin in its place and if we don't deal with the devil and battle him back and forth, we will be killed and massacred. So you see when they talk about last time about when they beheading and killing pastors, you don't hear anything in the news. When they're attacking Christians, you don't hear much in the news. But when they're attacking Muslims and other groups in the news, why is that? Why do you have more liquor stores and all this crime and violent stuff you have in some places? They put it in some areas, not on the others. Why do they put some people in the news more often than the others? Why do you see more people in the news and having bad? I see blacks and minorities, Spanish and other people there in the news all the time. And whites too, but you don't hear anything about the Jewish people much or the Asians. You don't see the news that often. And they're very unique people. I love them, just the same as everybody else. But I think they've been coward, like to be forced into complicity, to not object and force against authority because of what they've experienced in the past. Many groups I think have been forced that way too. By what? And I say, why are you saying this stuff to say all this stuff? Why are you saying this stuff? It's like it's a risk also, but I gotta tell you the truth. And I said, you know the truth will set you free. So if one person see the video and say, I got the message from it, I understand what it means. What I'm telling people, think for yourself. Do it God's way. Stop what we're doing and say, hey, what happened? What's up? We must stop and do an accounting. We must do an accountability. We must look and see, hey, how is the record? Watchman on the wall, watchwoman, what happened? What have you done about it? How are we going to stop it from being repeated again? Because I would say never again is now. And it's like, yeah, it's now for real. How are we going to repeat it? How are we going to stop it still seeing it happening? We keep doing the same thing over and over again, thinking we'll get a different outcome. Every time we get used by the pharmaceutical companies, used by the businesses, used by these places. They buy up all the mom and pop shops and they have these big conglomerate businesses. So now no one else can survive. They tell you cannot survive, you're not essential workers. So therefore go live and die somewhere. Live and wish you could do. Die, yes, they love to give you. I'm saying, how are we supposed to survive in this world if they're taking all the resources away? Now some companies say they want to, the guy here now, they want to choose for the next they got to replace Klaus Schwab in the World Economic Forum. He's the guy who said before that maybe water should be held as a commodity, that we should actually have to pay for water. So God sends the water from the air. You see the clouds are booming up there. He sends the water to the air to go on the ground to be captured. And then before you can dig a well and get water from the well, now they want to charge you for that. So because they're big and strong with more guns, they tell you that they need to get the water, you need to starve and die. So therefore, if they control the water and the food and the water and the air and your place to live and reside, then you have nothing else to do but to go somewhere and die. That's why I said sometimes we have to get back to basics, get back to simplicity, go back to living off the grid, go to living and be able to work without electricity, go to work with your hands again. We don't need to be living in a factory to doing everything. We don't need to be going in a big mass producing store. Have a little garden for yourself, grow some food and some crops. We're trying to get it going here. Here's a little rough back here, but we're trying. Get the garden growing. Grow a little stuff. Where am I? Undisclosed. Get a garden. Go and get a way to find how to grow your own crops and fruits and stuff, because we need to have a way to provide for ourselves. Some people say, I ain't doing it. I'll just rob my neighbor. Thou shalt not covet. So stop. Don't steal. Huh? But they're telling us they rather give us medically assisted suicide or medical intervention to help us to die than to help us to live. They send money across that should have gone to the people here to live, to survive during COVID thing. They give us $600, some chump change. But they gave billions across to overseas and other countries who don't need it. And the countries that did not comply with the COVID mandates and the vaccines and stuff, they did fare better, much better. But America, what about Gibraltar? They took vaccines everywhere. All these countries I can tell you about. Watch the highwire.com with Del Bigtree. Listen to what they said on RFK. Listen to the Childhood Defense Fund, CHD. Listen to those guys there. Listen to the Alex Jones on the band that video, BANNED that video on the Infowars.com. Listen to those guys. Because, see, they want to silence the guys that speak up the loudest, because they find if they can shut them up, they can give it. You know what I'm saying? Smite the shepherd, the sheep will scatter. If they can smite and silence and shut them up, then people will comply. So they put pressure against them. They sue them, they dox them, they do all kinds of stuff, they demonetize them. All of us, they abuse us and assault us, and they tell us if we comply, we might get a benefit, get a fig or a piece of fruits, get some food and get censored by water and get some toilet paper. Yeah? If we comply, we're good. But if we don't, we're bad. We're bad community people. We're bad. We're bad for the environment. So if you know some place in Japan, everyone is silent and quiet in some parts. They're not allowed to talk on the train and things. It's so rude. They're not allowed to talk on their phone in public. It's so rude. They're not allowed to go on these things. It's so rude. But some places it's like, I like America better. I like Japan too. And other countries. I love all the countries. So let me be free. All the nice things in Japan. I like the nice cars and stuff, nice design and stuff. But the people look at they've been repressed. They don't give them any freedom. Yes, it's safe there. So I want the safety of Japan and all the stuff they had that's good there. But I went to America. America should be just as safe. But America, well, ask yourself the question: which is the biggest arms dealer country in the world? Which is the biggest country of trafficking, sex trafficking, and child trafficking in the world right now? Which is the biggest benefactor and generous country in the world right now? America. It's a dual personality. A lot of good, a lot of bad. It's a fight for survival. It's a struggle between the force of good and the force of evil. And God says, if he be lifted up, he'll draw men unto him. So remember when Mike Pence said, though we don't like him as much, he's a secret Jesuit, from what I understand. That's allegedly, right? Let's see. My people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and praise, and I'll bless the land. God wants to bless America, and God has blessed America in many ways already. He wants to bless this whole world, this whole nation. Because we are going through an exodus. We need to get out of this situation we're in. We're in slavery. We're enslaved from conformity slavery to our lives, slavery to our system, slavery to the medical system, slavery to the churches and the big pharma, big church, big medicine, big government, big box. We're slavery to a lot of things. If we don't we don't get a little token. We don't get the crumbs and the dog food too. We don't get the food. So we gotta do the right thing, right? How about we give God praise first and say, hey, let me start questioning them. We need an accountability. But I don't want to take their SAS, satanically, assisted suicide. I don't want their SAS or their MAID, medically assisted death. I don't want to be sad. Oh man, sudden adult death syndrome. Or SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. Why gotta be sudden? Why gotta be death? Why can't it be living? Why can't it give me something good? They love to give us death, but on life. That's what I'm saying. This thing coming to us, the world is given to us, not of God. So God said, the world has its own thing. God said, better. God says, you cannot serve two masters. Either you serve one and you hate the other. So he said, love God, give him praise, or choose the other and die the death with the father of sin, the devil. This is going to be his end. There's the ashes on our feet, dry and parched, destroyed. I don't want that. I want to live. I want you to live too. By the grace of God, please live. Let's go where the grass is green now. Let's get some good stuff. Let's flourish and go. We'll get the weeds. Let's get the weeds out. But for now, just take heart. But do not go back to the same old way of living and say, oh, it's over, I'm over. Like another movie that comes and goes, you know? And some of things look so real. It looks like grass. It's green the same. It looks green, looks like grass. It's there, but if you look at it, it's really not grass. It's like those people lying to us. It's like, it's grass, but it's not really grass. It has some different roots. But the fakery is there. It looks the same, right? But it's not the same. Taking up resources. Weeds there. Need to be pulled up. Destroyed. Not go promoting violence that will kill people now, but we're saying you gotta think for yourself and spot the counterfeits. To spot the counterfeit, you have to study the original. The original is the grass. The original is God. Study God. When you see God, you can spot the counterfeits in between. This one doesn't belong there. When you see what doesn't belong there, by the grace of God, non-violently, spiritually, pluck it up. Put it for destruction. God said, let them continue at a time. So we have to kind of just do that, what he says. Not we here, but we should do what he says. But said, let the wheat and tares grow together. But you make yourself proper and ready for God, but when God's about to come. Because he said, when I come, he shall not tarry. When he comes, he's going to do that strange act. Those who are righteous will stay righteous. Those who are wicked will go into destruction and damnation. I say, Lord, please come soon, because we have a lot of weeds growing here. We have a lot of people that are looking the same. They're not the same. A lot of body snatchers. A lot of those who are there. Remember that movie they called They Believe? They Live? Yeah. What about the one, Roddy Piper, they made a video where people, you wear the sunglasses, you see what's there. But you take it off. No, you take it off, it looks like everything's normal. Bye. Tell you to go take a trip to all this stuff here, but when you see it, it's really hiding the truth behind you. They're lying to us. They've been lying to us for a long time. Hidden among us. Living among us. Jesuits, devils, satanic influences, they're all around us. Spreading, infiltrating the flock. Wolves in sheep clothing, infiltrating the flock. Looking the same, all looking nice and green. But when you get close to them, they're counterfeits and fakes. Look, they look so good and they spread so wide, but they're fakes. They're not doing the will of God, but they're fakes. They're here, sucking up resources, taking up all that stuff, but they're fakes. Spreading devilish things here, killing the crops, killing the good stuff. That's fakes. And they say, Lord, how to spot them? How to spot them, Lord? Because I was here before, I walked before, I didn't see them. They look the same. I was distracted. By what? Trying to care for the others. I didn't see this one growing. Now he's gotten out of hand. But God will take care of that part. So I'll do my best to get rid of that. But I'm not able to do it in this time and this life right now with everything as it is. But God can. So I say, give God praise and don't take it lightly. It takes a lot. You risk a lot to do all these things. But I'm just saying, we have to stop letting people bully us and tell us what we should do with ourselves and how we should do ourselves and whatnot. We're made to live. We're made to, guys, to be fruitful and multiply. Multiply good deeds, good things, love, kindness, gentleness, peace, everything. Multiply his deeds. Tell him, be the salt of the earth. Be the light under the hill. Or on the hill, excuse me. You know? Or the candle. You can't cover it. You got to spread light. Dispel the darkness. Clear it up. Spitting now. I'm getting all excited. Don't let us kill us. Don't let them kill us like that. If anything, go out swinging for the fences, right? Swinging, fight back hard, fight the good fight. I didn't know God said we go sit there and go there and go be like walked over and lay down on the ground so you put your neck down so you can take a cart and drive it to your neck. I remember God saying that you sit there and go to be a pushover. Nehemiah, sword in one hand, the Bible in the other. Speak the word, in season, out of season. Be ready to give an account for the actions you do. Stand up for God, give praise. Don't be no walkover. Don't let people in the lab coat tell you what to do because I'm a doctor. I'm a lab coat. Look, I have a stethoscope. What does that mean? Come to me and take off your clothes and talk to me like that. Take off that lab coat. Talk to me. You know? Somebody says, you don't have to be naked. I'm just saying, take off the garment that you have on. And if you look at it, we're just the same. Flesh and blood, human beings. Whatever color you are, whatever country you're born from, we're all just one race, human race. Don't let anybody think that they're better than you, that you're non-essential. We're all essential. We're God's creatures, made in his image. Let's give God praise. Thank you for your time. God bless you. Push back. Don't take it. Push back. God bless you.